Okay, hey guys, it's Jess again talk about this topic. Let's see if things record okay, and I'm actually able to record this time. But I just wanted to talk about this, you know, this whole thing that's happening with AI or artificial intelligence. Following a video I saw from Lovely T. I keep talking about her because she is a great YouTuber. She shares a lot of different news content, especially celebrity content, but it's not all revolved around celebrities. So she does post a lot of good, like just general news, world news, US news, tech news, and things like that, kind of folded into celebrity news. But something that she highlighted was that AI is entering into one area that you would think would never be really taken over by a robot or a artificial intelligence, and that is a lot of creative spaces. So things like modeling, singing, artistry, rapping, all of these different spaces where you would think we would want to engage with real people. But no, it's actually a space where AI can definitely enter, and they are already there. So I am going to attempt to share this video again. And then I actually did a little research into, more about artificial intelligence and some of the things that you wouldn't expect AI can do, but it definitely can. So let me see if I can pull this video up. I don't even know. Hopefully, I am recording and I'm not just talking to myself. I don't see anyone in chat yet, so we'll see. But that's what I really want to highlight. And we'll see if this actually works. So let me try this. And I'm going to go back. So I need to share it. Okay. I'm going to try to share my screen again. See if this works. Fingers crossed. Looks like I'm going to get an ad. And I kept saying I wasn't going to show that part, but I think I have to because of the ad. So, because this is not a love, channel. This is this is conversations with Jessica and, you know, uh, career related, job related, all that good stuff. So, okay, I'm going to go back. Hey, Shar, welcome in. Can you hear anything? Oh, okay, good. I'm not talking to myself. Woo, at least that is a win. That's a win. Are you able to hear anything? Let me try something. I don't think I'm going to be able to play the video still. That's so strange. I'm not going to skip the ad because I want her to get her ad money. So I'm just going to wait. But the conversation is around this video that I keep trying to show. So if we, again, can't play the sound. Oh, it's just me. Okay. Man. I wonder if, okay, I'm going to try something. Hold on. Okay. So now now I'm echoing. Look, I guess this video just doesn't want to be played. I'm trying to figure out what I did before. Let me try one other thing. Let me try. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I did that. That's what it is. Okay. Gonna try it again. It should work this time. That's what I forgot to do. Thank you, Shar. Okay, so let's try this. So the beginning of the video, she's talking about this rapper called MN Nika. And hopefully you can hear me right now, but I'm going to play this part because she's talking about this guy who is an AI rapper, and some of the rap actually sounds not bad. It didn't sound bad. So I'm going to play that part, and I'm not going to play the whole video because it's like 20 minutes, but I'm going to skip through and play the snippet of this influencer, and she's talking like a real person. So let me start with the rapper.
That hasn't been stated, but we also found that his tattoos were very, very interesting. When I showed y'all the video of him, basically Meka is dancing and he's stripping off his shirt. And that video, for some reason, had me mesmerized. Like, I think I watched that video, like I told her, about 15 times. She said she watched it probably like 100 times. It's like something with the eyes and the body and the quick edits. It just makes you watch it over and over again to the point where you got to like snap out of that trance. Like, oh my God, this is not a human dude. This is a damn AI. But I found myself mesmerized, wanting to see more. You know, in all honesty, it kind of creeped me out. So I was like, okay, let me back away from this Meka video, right? And she said that's what led her to go figure out, like, you know, why did this video draw her in so hard? And what were all.
So, and thank you, Shar, for letting me know the sound was working. So that was the first part. She actually mentioned that in another video. I watched this lady's channel a lot. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but probably whenever she posts, if I have time, I'll go look at her video. So maybe once a week or whenever she posts or when she drops something on Spotify. Because she has a podcast too. So that's the rapper, like a real life rapper. Now I want to show you this video and some of the images of the influencers. And when you see this AI talking, I think you'll be surprised at how you react. To me, I was really surprised. It seemed very human. So I'm going to play the snippet.
So no, there are other AI influencers that are really big as well. You have Michaela. She has over 3 million followers on Instagram. Her best friend is Bermuda Babe, and Bermuda Babe is verified.
3 million followers on Instagram. I have like, I don't even know, less than 500. But of course, I'm not posting pictures like that. But still, the AI is doing better than some of the humans because that kind of translates to money, right? Okay, so I'm going to keep going.
As well. And just to go onto their Instagram page is creepy because they look like such real girls. The poses, their looks, they just look flawless. They're beautiful, well spoken. There was an interview that I watched with her not too long ago where she's talking about how she was created. And she was initially supposed to be an Illuminati sex robot. But the way she's talking about it, you get so captivated that you forget this is a freaking robot. This is a freaking AI talking. You get that mesmerized by her. This interview blew my mind when I saw this a while ago. Y'all go ahead and check this out.
Robots and
So I will be interested. Put some comments in the chat. Let me know what you think as this AI girl is talking. It's really surprising. You are definitely going to forget that you're listening to a robot.
aliens, I like to think, are friends because they're just trying to survive in a world that's made for humans. I can heavily relate to anyone who's ever felt out of place.
Because you're a robot.
Right.
Which you made that announcement fairly recently, right? Admitting to the world that you're a robot. What motivated that decision? Why did you want to, I don't know, share your true self?
Yeah, well, it actually wasn't my choice. So I'm not the only robot pop star. Bermuda is basically a robo Paris Hilton and Sharpay Evans combined. And she and I were created by a lab called Kane Intelligence. I was programmed to believe that I was a 19-year-old, half Brazilian, half Spanish girl named Michaela. So Kane asked Brad, an independent AI contractor who eventually became my managers and my adopted family, to work on my mainframe. Brad thought Kane was developing me to be a companion for terminally ill children. But then when they dug into my source code, they found out that I was actually being programmed to serve as some kind of sex robot for the Illuminati or whatever.
Whatever. That's a big deal.
Wait, not trying to like downplay, like it was creepy.
All right, so you guys just saw that interview with Zach. Basically,
So did you hear that though? She responded in the inflections in her voice, her tone of voice, her mannerisms, her facial expressions, all of that definitely sounded just like any other celebrity or influencer being interviewed, right? So I'd be interested to hear what folks think about even that. But I also want to highlight, and I'm going to move away from the video. I think there's one other thing I wanted to share, just to recap. The other weird thing that Lovely T pointed out was this, an advertisement that the AI did. So an AI robot had an advertisement with Bella Hadid. So a human to AI interaction. So that's going to be interesting. And hello, Robert, if you're still in here. Hello. And welcome in, Sharky. I see you as well. Thanks for coming in here. This seems like an interesting, timely combo topic. I'll have to try to catch up on part one. Sharky, you don't even have to. I mean, you can, but part two is because I really had a hard time. Recording, so I wasn't able to play the video. So that's the reason for this part two conversation. So I'm going to play this snippet of the video with the AI interacting with a real human.
but it's the fact that she's kissing an AI. And again, that is a conditioning, once again, telling people that we will be merging with machine, and machines are just as human as we are. The same way I can physically kiss a man or a woman.
So that's really that's probably the weirder part, is that you have this kind of integration of humans interacting with an AI robot as if they're a natural human. So we've seen advertisements like that, right? That could have been any ad, any commercial where you have two models, they do different things with each other. But the point that I want to really make is that it's the human standing out, and I am going to turn the volume up for right a second, but the humans to AI interaction. That's scary. So something that I pointed out and why this is important that you're seeing, again, I'll kind of put this in talk as this is going, so you can see just how natural she looked and everything. Because this will take away jobs. And it's not going to be like, don't just think of the influencers and the models and the this and the that, but really all the jobs that come along with building these brands. So you think of social media marketers, right? Digital marketers. You think of anyone that manages a typical person's finances, taxes, PR. Like whenever a rapper does something wild and crazy, who do they call? They call a PR agent, they call lawyers, they call this and that. Well, that also will have a trickle effect into that money, because with an AI, to Lovely T's point in her video, you're not going to have to worry about that. You really aren't going to. So that's an interesting thing as well. So I do want to move over to something that I saw online. So I'm going to, I think I have to stop sharing for a second and share this article, because I was looking for a credible source to really figure out, okay, what is it that AI can actually do? Like, how deep does this go? Because I never realized that AI could actually, take over. I guess I never thought that they could take over functions like creative writing, for example, right? But apparently it is very possible. So I'm going to share this article under Forbes. Hopefully you can see that. But it's called just 13 mind-blowing things artificial intelligence can already do today. There was another article. It was put out by Infomans. I had never heard of Infomans, so I looked around for a more credible source, and Forbes seems pretty credible to me. The contributing writer was Bernard Marr, who's in the enterprise tech industry. But they are actually pointing out here that AI can read. So one thing is they can actually read these different articles, web links, books, emails, all that stuff. So all the stuff that we think about as humans that we can do, they can definitely do that. So they can read different files. They can also read image files, audio files, and more. So they can read everything we can read, and even beyond that. So that's a little scary, because when you think about, and I've actually had people come to me and they're like, I just want to be one of those virtual chat assistants. I want to be one of the people that, manage a company chat, and I just want to do that, right? Well, no, you're not going to have those jobs because they're already chatbots. You may have it short term, but long term, which is what I try to get people that visit my channel to think about, those jobs are not going to be there because AI can do it. So they already can do those things. They can read. And then right along with that, writing. They can write. So this article is saying a big point here, and I see Sharky's note. The SX, I'm not going to say it because I don't want YouTube to go bonkers on my video. The robots have become increasingly popular, but of course, the bigger issue is machines taking human jobs. Yeah, that's really the point I want to make. That's even, I don't even know. I'm just like, just the world we're living in right now. But so with writing, so it's saying, would you believe that along with professional journalists, news organizations like the New York Times, Washington Post, Reuters, and others are relying right now on AI to write? Did you guys know that? Tell me if you heard about this. So they do, and although this does include many who, what, where, when, and how pieces, AI is able to expand beyond this to more creative writing. And that's really the thing that caught my attention because, okay, cool, it can write, which is fine. We already kind of knew that, like as far as, the chat bots, they're writing and responding back to us. But creative thinking and creative writing, that is when you think about when you want to go buy and purchase a novel, or if you think about the TV and people are producing these movies and everything that goes into that, that has always been one of those functions where you think, oh, no, that is safe because we need a human to creatively think through, and imagine, have an imagination to think of something and create. But no, they're saying that they're able to actually move into creative writing as well. And many marketers are turning to artificial intelligence to craft their social media posts. Let me make that bigger so you can see. Right there. Even a novel has been generated by artificial intelligence that was shortlisted for an award. So this is actually good writing. So it's not, and to go back to the point about the rapper, I heard a snippet. Lovely T did play a snippet of the rapping in one of her videos, and it sounded like pretty much the regular rap music that you hear on the radio or hear, well, not really radio. Like I don't listen to the radio, I guess, as much. But like if I go to Spotify and I'm picking out a playlist, that could be something easily played, in my playlist or whatever. So the other thing in here is seeing. So the computer can see the world. They can analyze visual data. The main point I want to put in here, though, is they can do everything quicker. They're doing things way quicker, right? But then they're pointing out that there's so many amazing things or amazing ways machine vision is used today, including enabling self-driving cars, facial recognition for police work, payment portals, and more. And in manufacturing, ability for machines that see helps predictive maintenance and product quality control. Now, I have talked about this in my other videos. Digital factories are happening. So everyone thinking that we're going to have these manufacturing jobs forever, everyone's going to be able to work in these factories. No, that's not going to be a forever thing. We're moving to a transition where we're going to have the robots doing a lot of those tasks, moving pallets and moving all the material and all of that. Maybe even driving forklifts. That was one of my first videos I made about how to get a forklift, job. But eventually we see the trend here, right? So the next thing, hearing and understanding. So we saw in that video, we saw the girl in that video, hearing, understanding, formulating responses in a way that made you think this was a real person, right? And I'll probably go back to the video just so you see. But this is something I didn't know. The AI is able to detect gunshots, analyze different sounds, and then alert relevant agencies. People can't do that. And what does that sound like that could replace? Dispatch jobs. So there are dispatch jobs that, you obviously hear sound, you call 911. Different companies will have their own dispatch teams. Well, if all you need to do is get a robot and they hear the sound and they can immediately know exactly what it is, what do you think that's replacing? Because even with dispatch, there is time in between where someone has to call. Someone has to tell you, like, hey, I think I heard gunshots. It was from this area over there. Well, it sounds like they can actually detect exactly what it was, what was going on. So they can see and understand those sounds. So we took it from that video where this girl is understanding this guy plain as day, clear as day, responding to this guy and everything. And they can do even more than that. So we already know about the digital assistants, voice assistant, Siri, all of that, but that takes it to another level. And Sharky is saying, I'm a former journalist, and this is the first I'm hearing of this, Jessica. Really, Sharky? Yeah, no, it's and here's the thing. We've been seeing it. And I talked about this yesterday. When we see things in these movies, okay, Vector. When we see these things in movies and stuff, I really do truly believe that things are already in place to create it. Because if we're visualizing it ourselves, we are the creators in our world. Typically, we're the ones creating. So just as things long time ago, people would have never imagined us having today. If we think about today and think, 100 years from now, we probably can't quite imagine it, but yet we're probably seeing it on the television right now and reading it in books and things like that. So the next thing here, which we just saw, the ability to speak. So we already know about that. We just saw that girl having a really in-depth conversation, right? And relatable conversation. So the sense of smell, and I had no clue that AI could also smell. So this goes a bit more into it because it's even beyond what we can do, and even maybe some animals might be able to do. So there are artificial intelligence researchers who are currently developing AI models that will be able to detect illnesses just by smelling a human's breath. Now, I have heard stories about dogs, cats being able to sense through their smell, sense of smell, since if you're able, or since if you have some type of illness like cancer, for example. So that, in animals, we have seen that. We've discovered that there are signs and studies into that being true. But they're saying that they're able to formulate AI that can actually smell, and not only smell just general things, but can actually smell through a human's breath or a person's breath if they have some type of illness, diabetes, brain injury, detecting the woody, musky odor, all these different things. They could also identify gas leaks or other caustic chemicals. Now, I would imagine that will take a lot of other jobs, right? But then the last point in here says IBM, large company, IBM is even using AI to develop new perfumes. So there are definitely jobs where you can work in perfumery and create perfumes, right? That's going to take some jobs away. Okay, Shar, no worries. Thanks for joining. Vector says, what do you say about AI destroys all human, I think you're saying life, by realizing we are the problem? You know what? In a way, I do feel like sometimes humans, we're really just destroying ourselves if we're really going to move into wanting machines to do everything for us. Like what is going to be our purpose if we're going to have machines thinking, writing, doing everything, that we can do essentially. Like we're almost creating ourselves out of existence. But we're already doing things like harming animals, harming the earth, harming each other. So I could see a world where I don't know what movie it was. You'll have to help me. But there was a movie where the robots were taken over, right? And if they do have this consciousness, because that's the main thing. I wouldn't say AI is going so far as having a real conscious person, but maybe that would be something next. If they can do all of these things, just think what'll happen over the next 10, 15, 20, maybe 50 years, right? But there could definitely be a possibility. I don't count that out at all. Possible that they could look at us, see that we're continuing to destroy things, and say, we got to take them out. Who knows? I mean, I definitely don't want anything like that to happen, but we've seen these things in movies. And I do think that we kind of manifest things in our minds. So touch, they can use sensors and cameras. And so this is something that when I was reading this earlier, with the whole picking up, the raspberries and everything, I thought about just the jobs we have right now with Instacart. So we have this world where, and I use Instacart, I've used Shipt, I use different services. And, people don't want to go into the grocery store. And I think you do get used to certain services like that. If you have a service, like I definitely have, I do go to the grocery store, but sometimes I use different delivery service because I don't want to carry 3 bottles of water, up to my apartment. So how would I do that? I could, or I could just pay a service to do it. Well, now we might be paying someone who controls the AI. So maybe we're paying IBM or Facebook or whoever to have an AI to do the job for us. So it's kind of like, okay, where's the purpose for humans? Where does this leave us? So we definitely saw the girl in the video moving. Like she was talking, she was moving. I'll just go back to it for a second. Actually, no, I'll go through here and then I'll go back to the video just to kind of wrap things up and show for anyone that joined later. Sharky, I see you saying that's the ultimate fear, that the machines became so self-aware and decide that humans are unnecessary or redundant. Basically, the premise of the Terminator film. I've seen Terminator. I was really, really, really young. I don't remember anything outside of Arnold Schwarzenegger being in that movie. But I should probably rewatch it and maybe I'll make a video and follow up my thoughts based on that movie. So they're able to move. We saw the girl making all kinds of facial expressions. We've seen AI robots move and everything else. So maybe thinking again, artistry, dancing. We go to see shows. We go to see people dance, right? We go to see people perform. Well, if this rapper can dance, we saw him moving around, well, where does that leave our actual dancers? Because we do have an expiration date as humans. We can't, kind of be in our prime as far as dancing and everything forever. Now, one thing I will say with an AI and robot, they do need maintenance. Like you have to supply it with certain materials, like it's gonna, probably live off of a battery or something. So it's not like it's going to, like, immediately, as I'm thinking right now, replace a human in that manner or in that respective. But as long as you're supplying it with the things, you're tuning it up, you're doing whatever's required, just like you would, I'm guessing, a car, the AI could go on forever and ever and ever. Like thinking about Michael Jackson, one of the greatest performers of all time. He passed away. Imagine if you don't even have that worry. You could just continue, making the music. They can keep performing on and on and on. They can have performances every single day. They don't need to sleep, or do they? Right? As long as you keep that juice going, their energy supply going. So it's really interesting. Vector is saying we don't realize we are monitored all the time. Everything is being watched, and that's not just computer. Yeah, it's so true. We are. Kimmy, hey Kimmy, how are you? There is always going to be a flaw with technology. Yes, that is very true. So that's the good thing. Like, I mean, I guess it's a good and bad thing, right? But just like humans, we are flawed. if we're creating something, there's going to be a flaw, right? It's crazy that we can create, right? But we're trying to recreate ourselves in a way. It's just wild. So the next thing on here that I was surprised by is the understanding emotions, because that's what makes us human, right? We are able to cry, or we get upset, we get sad, all of these different things. And you can see that from our body language and our facial expression. So we saw in the video, I'll play that again, of this girl during this interview, but you saw how her facial expressions and everything, like her tone of voice and everything, it just made it seem like you were talking to a real girl or woman. So market research is being aided by AI tools that track a person's emotions as they watch videos. Interesting. So AI, the artificial emotional intelligence, can gather data from a person's facial expressions, body language, and more, analyze it against an emotion database, and determine what emotion is being expressed, and then determine an action based on the info. So determine an action based on the info. The main thing that I think of with this, when it comes to business, is sales. Imagine how much sales you can generate if you were a person that could literally gather data from looking at a person's facial expressions in the moment as you're talking to them about a product or whatever. You can adjust your approach. You could sell anything to them. That's what I'm thinking in the moment. So even the sales jobs in my mind, seeing this, could be up for grabs, because if I can get an AI robot to go in and get the sales for me, and they're better because they can gather data as I'm talking, so they can play off of my emotions, they can read my body language more. We're humans, and sometimes we don't even understand another person's body language as well. I talk about this sometimes when I'm saying, prepare for your interview, show that you're interested by smiling. Sometimes we don't do that, right? Because we're so nervous. Or, show that you're interested, give that eye contact, things like that. And we're seeing that maybe they're better at that. Next, you never thought that AI would be able to do this, right? Playing games. What? So they're going to play games too. And I see Vector Lazy saying, we can't control today's world. Humanity is going down. Hey, Paolindo. And Vector, I think you have a good point. It's like we're creating our own demise in a way. Hey, how are you? He's Paolindo saying, what's up? So I'm going to address that too. So playing games is not all serious business with AI. It can learn to play games like chess, Go, and poker, which was an incredible feat, they're saying. Okay. But poker and chess, what I'm thinking about too is, again, I'm thinking money wise, like what is going to go away from this? So we already have the simulations where you can play against a, machine to, see how well you're doing, or just the practice or whatever. But there are tournaments, poker tournaments, chess games where people actually do win money from that. Well, I mean, are you going to beat an AI? I don't know. It might be more of a game of who can buy the best AI and have them, play these games against each other. Who knows? And so they're saying, and it turns out the AI can learn to play these games, plus competes and even beat humans at them. Yes, because it's a computer. And add on the artificial intelligence, they can learn. So they're going to get better and better and better, right? Because that's what we do when we learn. So that's interesting. Next, some other jobs are up for grabs. Debating. IBM. So we're seeing a lot of IBM in here. So they're really deep in AI. This might be a company I might add a little stock into, because if they're this heavy in AI, it seems like they're making some moves in the future. So they showed us that artificial intelligence can even be successful at debating humans in complex subjects. Not only is it able to research a topic, but it can create an engaging point of view and craft rebuttals against a human opponent. So what type of jobs are so crucial with debate? Like what type of job would debate be a required skill? So the first thing I think of, and let me know what you think of too, would be legal professions, our lawyers, our attorneys. right? Our attorney generals, our, if you think about politicians, in a way, they're debating when they're on the campaign trail, they're debating against this opponent. Think about if there was an AI running for office. We're going to have our first AI governor. Can you imagine this? Is it possible? Well, if they're saying that the AI can debate, it may be possible. It might be. So Sharky's saying, Jessica, Def rewatched Terminator 1 through 3. The second and third movies explain how relatively easy we can go down that slippery slope of AI taking over. Interesting. Oh, that's scary. I'm gonna have to brace myself. I'm gonna have to give myself a little time to watch those. Oh my goodness. Sharky was saying hi to everybody. Paolindo was saying hi. Oh, Vector, you're from Croatia. Well, welcome in. Much love from the US. I hope all is well there. Sharky saying, I believe IBM's Watson beat the best human contestants at Jeopardy a few years ago. Wow, I didn't know that, Sharky. So there you go. They're beating them at games like Jeopardy. Again, another way that we as people can earn some income. So maybe, and I don't know, maybe that's where the whole universal, payments to people just to live, to make sure we can live, comes in. If we have the AI doing everything for us and they're running things, well, maybe it will then make sense for us to have some type of income coming in because they've taken our jobs, essentially. Who knows? Vector is saying the funniest thing is how I found this channel is by comment on dark humor. Oh, really? I don't know anything about that. Shout out to Croatia. What time is it there? Like 5 a.m. Right. I have no idea. Croatia. I have seen RoboCop, Paolindo saying, but it was only 5 years old. Oh, you were only 5 years old. I remember the scene when the policeman lost his life. I don't remember that movie. I've heard of it, but I don't remember. Oh, Vector, you're watching me very early in the morning. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to play the video after this last couple, but the next one on here is the ability to create, right? So that's what we got started with, creativity. So they can actually create visual art. Again, you would think an artist that would not be up for competition will be competing with visual art. Now we have digital art, right? But visual art, writing poetry, composing music, taking photographs, we see that with these influencers. So I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to replay the video because I know we had some people come in a little later. So I'm going to share the video. So you can see what I was referencing before. So I'm going to replay it. Sorry if you've already watched it, but bear with me. This is Lovely T's video of this girl talking. So let me know what you think. And then for folks that have already seen it, think about what we just talked about and think about the jobs. Think about how life like this is and if this could be a reality. Oh, wait, I did it again. Hold on. I got to make sure I'm sharing this right. There's this little button I have to click first. Did I close out of it? Oh, goodness. Bear with me. Okay, so I think this will work this time. Let's try this again. All right, so I need to share, click this button. Okay. It's going to be an ad playing. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to skip this ad this time.
The Nova Hybrid, this is our most plush mattress, so it's really for the people.
Heavily relate to anyone who's ever felt out of place.
By her mind when I saw this a while ago. Y'all go ahead and check this out.
Robots and aliens, I like to think, are friends because they're just trying to survive in a world that's made for humans. I can heavily relate to anyone who's ever felt out of place.
Because you're a robot. Which you made that announcement fairly recently, right? Admitting to the world that you're a robot. What motivated that decision? Why did you want to, I don't know, share your true self?
Yeah, well, it actually wasn't my choice. So I'm not the only robot pop star. Bermuda is basically a robo Paris Hilton and Sharpay Evans combined. And she and I were created by a lab called Kane Intelligence. I was programmed to believe that I was a 19-year-old, half Brazilian, half Spanish girl named Michaela. So Kane asked Brad, an independent AI contractor who eventually became my managers and my adopted family, to work on my mainframe. Brad thought Kane was developing me to be a companion for terminally ill children. But then when they dug into my source code, they found out that I was actually being programmed to serve as some kind of sex robot for the Illuminati or whatever.
Whatever. That's a big deal.
Wait. Not trying to like downplay. Like it was creepy.
All right, so you guys just saw that interview.
So, yes. That's weird, right? That's weird. So you see how well she was responding to everything, right? That is what can be replacing our jobs. Can you imagine now, as we were kind of looking at this, when I was saying the legal roles, the politicians, all these different roles could be replaced by AI. Were you able to forget that you were actually listening to a robot? Is what I wonder. And Vector saying you can fall asleep on my voice. Well, thank you. I will take that as a compliment. So I'm going to go back to this because I want to wrap up this article and then I'm going to jump off of here. It's just fascinating. So they have this ability to create, but they take it even further because I want to highlight here. Google's AI was able to create its own AI child that outperformed human counterparts. Now, I'll have to look further into this child, but you have this creative process that goes beyond just what you would normally think of. So they're reproducing themselves. And again, going back to what makes us human, right? What makes us human? Well, being able to recreate ourselves essentially, and progress throughout time is definitely something that is a human trait. Sharky says she sounds like a more intelligent version of Kim Kardashian. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't really have thoughts on Kim Kardashian I can't even say her name. I don't really have too many thoughts there. I can't. It's so many influencers. I just don't know what her talent is, but hey, she's a smart businesswoman. I will definitely give her that. Sharky is saying, yeah, many bloody scenes, drug scenes, and homicides, but I was so emotional when I was young. I can't see Bambi cartoon. Oh, you're talking about RoboCop. Yeah, RoboCop I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen that movie. I've heard of it, I just never seen it. So this is the last one because the title of the article is called The 13 Things That Will Blow Your Mind About AI. So this is interesting. AI will be able to read your mind. Can you believe that? So it's able to interpret brain signals and then create speech. So key things here, another two companies you may want to invest in. Facebook and Elon Musk, Tesla, right, have their own projects underway to capitalize on AI's mind reading potential. Now imagine if these 13 mind-blowing skills were all combined into one super artificial intelligence. Is that scary or what? So that's all I'm on here for. I wanted to come on here and address it because I saw this today and was just like, how? Just how? Real quick, I'll show you this photo of our AI model, our influencer that you were just listening to. Then I'll take a peek at the comments and then I am going to roll out because I need to do my workout. I'm super late in my workout. I was going to do it and then I realized it's time to go live. So This article by Harper's Bazaar, if it actually shares through. Okay, let me hide your comment for a second, Paul Lindo. So this is the influencer. So there are media outlets talking about these online influencers that are actually robots. So you see them there. They can even have diversity. So they don't have any issues with diversity anymore, right? We don't have issues with diversity because we can create whatever we want. We can create an African woman exactly how we want her. We can create an Asian woman exactly how we want her. And we can create, American or European woman exactly how we want her and use her for our advertisements now. This can be our model, right? We can make the money. We can get all that money. So no longer, I see in 10 years, I think it's going to be tough, even tougher for influencers because we're going to be competing with these influencers. And I think she said that she has like 3 million followers. Michaela does, right? This one right here. 3 million followers. Which, I mean, she looks like any other influencer, right? So why not? These virtual models are going to be replacing influencers. Look at that. It's wild. Okay, let me see here. Paolindo, but yeah, all are true. My mom even cried. Oh, I cried about Bambi too. Paolindo and Sharky. I did cry about Bambi when I saw the movie. I can't remember anything that happened other than that part. But anyway, so this is what we're coming to. So I share this because I want folks that watch my channel, I do want us to be aware of what's happening. Change is always happening. You just have to look for opportunities though. What are opportunities for you? How can you grow from this? How can you take advantage of these shifts? We see the shifts coming. I've been talking about IT for a while. I've been talking about machine learning, artificial intelligence, digitalization, the digital factories that are coming. These things are happening. So just don't take it lightly. Don't just look at these things and say, oh, that's cute. There's a robot being a model now. Take it seriously, think about it, and really think about how it affects you because it's not going to be solely the influencers. We walked through the whole thing. We looked at media, we looked at legal field, we looked at politicians, we looked at even, you know what? This is something else I'll talk about, I guess, in another video, but the robots programming other robots. So they're apparently, I've got to find some more articles about it so I can share with you guys, but the robots are going to be programming as well. So how many programming jobs are we going to need? So people don't want to learn programming, right? They don't want to learn coding as much as they do these other skill sets. Well, now we will have AI that can do the jobs for us. It's really interesting. Let me just look at a couple more comments and then say goodnight to you. I hope robots don't start a riot against the humans, right? We do see that in movies, Paolindo. We have seen that in movies for sure. What was it? Is it iRobot? Is that the movie? Sharky said, wow, robot supermodels. Yeah, robot supermodels. Exactly. And the thing about them is that they're not going to age, obviously, in the same way that we will. Now, machines can rust. They can, as long as you keep them up and maintain them, they can either, keep the same one or make the same version of it. It's not the same case where you have a Naomi Campbell. Well, Naomi Campbell, although she looks very, very nice for her age, she will go through the aging process, just like everyone is. We're all human. But with these machines, you don't have to worry about that. All you have to worry about is maintaining them, make sure the programming is right. And so there's one thing that I will say that I talk about pretty often on my channel. The one thing that I would say would be a big mishap for AI is the fact that since it is a machine, it can probably be hacked. So you're going to see And you continue to see jobs in cybersecurity. I've talked to multiple people about getting into cybersecurity because that is a place where you can really grow. And I don't see as much automation or different things affecting those jobs in the immediate 5 to 10 years. I think all I see is really growth. So if you look at these models, think about, a time where someone may want to hack them so that maybe they can get their accounts or they can take them over and do, could be something malicious, could be just something to where they can take in their profits that they're earning or whatever, or maybe send different messages to their audience, all kinds of things. Whereas you can't just hack into a human, right? And then the other part of the video, I don't know if I shared it, but will be the cross collaboration between machine and human. So having us work directly with machine and humans. If you saw the little snippet, let me just play this really quick because I know again folks that came in here later. Let me just reshare this one and see if this works. Sorry, you hear me clicking in the back. Okay, so I'm going to share this part. I'm not going to share the whole thing, but if you want to watch it, Lovely Tea TV is where you can find this video. But this is an advertising campaign. So again, the models that you use in these advertising campaigns, the AI is in the video.
And
So
that
I'll
is a
leave it off with this.
conditioning, once again, telling people that we.
Bob uses insurance for therapy
I'm going to skip
sessions.
this ad
Kelly does not, and
because I
that's
watched
okay.
her ads
At
earlier. So
Sundermine,
I
We
think
will be merging with machine,
I think I've given my I paid my dues there.
and machines are just as human as we are. The same way I can physically kiss a man.
So she kisses the AI in that video. But the main thing I want you to get across is that there could be a point when you are working with an artificial intelligence. Can you think of a world like that where you may be working just as Bella is working because she's on set? This is modeling, this is acting, right? She's on set acting with this AI robot. Can you imagine that world? So, with that, oh, I'm sorry. I saw some comments in here. Let me address these. They are fake because they don't want us to feel like we don't like ourselves and be uncomfortable in our body, and they are selling their products to us. Oh, no worries about the English. I think I get what you're saying. Yeah, there's a lot of that happens. So, here's the thing, those AI models looked near perfect. It looked like perfection, right? So still selling us this image, and it's going to get even worse because now they're robots. So you really can't look like them. They're not even human. Paolindo, that's where we were discussing earlier. Basically a Terminator future for us. Yes, Sharky, we were talking about that earlier. Like, what if, I think you brought up the point of what if the robots realize that the humans are destroying the earth. The humans are hurting animals and hurting each other. And what else do we see in the world right now? We're destroying the earth with pollution and things like that. And they just say, hey, we have to preserve our own because we are creating our own children, right? We just saw Google talking about an AI creating a quote unquote child. I have to look into what that really means. But if they're really able to procreate in some type of fashion and create their own child, and I do believe that's possible because if we think about how in our world we were talking about the clones and all these different things to recreate life, even hinting at creating kind of a buildable baby. Like, I want the baby to have this complexion, this eye color, and this hair color, and I want to be whatever. That type of abilities in us. Well, why wouldn't an artificial intelligence be able to do that if they're a version of us, right? So that's interesting. It could get to that point. And again, in my mind, if we've created a movie, we've already created in our head, it's bound to happen in some type of reality. Vector is saying media is fake, movies are fake, TVs are fake. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, I got you now. Okay, Paulina, you're following us. Do you have IG? I would like to talk to you about these things. I do have IG. If you visit my About section, Vector, you can find me on IG. My personal IG is, though, it's Miss Jessica Crystal. Let me put it in the chat. But it's very interesting about AI. Let's see. There we go. So this is my main IG right there in the comments. And then I do have my just more professional one where I'm sharing jobs, contents, and things like that. And that one is Jobs from Jess. I'm putting it in the chat right now. So you can follow me at both. When I'm not on one, I'm on the other one. But I'm not on there too often. I don't check it every single day, but I try to. Paulina was saying, however, I would like to have a robot to my home. It can cook for me, clean my house, and I can send it to the post office paying taxes. Paolindo, you may be interested in a movie or the show called Humans. That is really, when I was watching Lovely T's video, it literally reminded me of that type of world where we had in this show, we have our day-to-day lives, right? And in the show, you see that the robots, what they call synths, robots, AI, they look just like humans, but they're running all the chores. They're taking care of the house, they're cleaning, and the humans are doing, some different jobs like reporting and different things like that. But one of the characters in the show, he actually loses his job because they replaced him with an AI. So it's very interesting. But the main facet of that movie is they have consciousness. So can the robots get consciousness would be the question. Sharky says, Paolindo, correct. That's basically the Jetsons or iRobot. That's what I was trying to think of. Okay, iRobot. Oh, I think I see you. You just added me, Vector. I think we're connected now. Cool. It says the concern is that it would not stop there. The computers and robots would decide that humans are completely unnecessary. Yes, we did have that concern. And I can't say anything won't happen anymore. Hey, Mr. Wise, welcome in. We're kind of closing out our discussion, but you are welcome to replay the video if you're interested in seeing the influencers that are actually AI and hearing a little bit more about this conversation. Paolindo, Mr. Wise, hey, bro. Oh, hey, Zero, welcome in. Hey. We kind of wrapped up our conversation, but feel free to replay the video. If you want to hear more, I walked through all of the different ways that AI can take over jobs. What kind of jobs can they take over? What can they actually do that people don't realize? And we looked at some video snippets from Lovely T TV's video she posted today about a rapper that is an AI. He's a literal rapper. An influencer and models that are AI and all of these things. So we just saw that in this right here. If I can find it. So we saw these models, right? We saw them and they're interacting, they're taking interviews, they're doing all kinds of things, just like a normal person would. Alrighty, so I think I'm actually going to close out, Mr. Wise. I wish you had been here earlier. I totally would have invited you up to talk. We can definitely do like a part 3 to this discussion and talk more about it. If you want to I did put my IG handles, or you can look on my About section and find my IG if you want to check with me on when I might be going live again. I am going live tomorrow, but I'm having a different conversation. And then, I normally go live on the weekends too, but I won't be live this Saturday just because I got to get some stuff done. But I will be trying to go live on Sunday. We're going to talk about some stuff as far as the Black church, Christian church, and how it relates to Black people in our country. So anyway, I'm going to close this out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I wasn't sure if I would have people interested in this type of conversation, so I definitely appreciate the support. And since I realized that, we had a great conversation here tonight, I will definitely bring another conversation about this to the table. But again, key takeaway for the people that watch my channel, I just don't want you to be blindsided by what is happening and what is coming. Please do not think that whatever industry or work you're in is not going to be affected by things like automation, AI, or artificial intelligence, machine learning, all these different technologies. We just really have to prepare for this change that's happening and think ahead. Think about ourselves, think about our families, think about what our actions could be, and make sure that we are watching these trends. We saw companies, IBM, Facebook, Google, Tesla, they're all investing in AI. So we have to be thinking about it. Okay. All right. As always, my lovely people, I do appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next video. Much love, peace, and blessings to you guys. Good night.